Well done, Draco. Well done.
When they're not evil, they're often pretty hilarious. From the Slytherins we watched growing up like Draco, Crabbe, and Goyle, to their parents, to Dolores Umbridge, to Voldemort himself, not a single actor managed to get through filming without some flubs. We've got 15 of the best bloopers right here.
Look at him! It's a hard life, isn't it?
Yeah, I got my poncho on.
Number 1. And that's how you describe a literal child on set filming a movie about magic. Tom Felton giggled throughout most of his time on set during the first film. Any chance he could entertain the cameras or flash a smile, this boy was on it. A total showman from the very start.
I'm Malfoy. Draco Malfoy.
Number 2. Rehearsing hard or hardly rehearsing? Dolores Umbridge, a Slytherin if we ever saw one. But Imelda Staunton wasn't nearly as uptight during her time on set. Especially when getting to hang out and joke with the Maggie Smith.
Blah, 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 blah. Disloyalty.
Oh.
This Slytherin actor saved the serious stuff for when the cameras were rolling. Number 3. You've never seen cousins quite like this before. Sirius and Bellatrix have a not-so-great familial relationship. But that doesn't mean as actors they can't bring the fight.
To be or not to be. It's like an acting exercise, isn't it?
While Helena Bonham Carter was a lot nicer to Gary Oldman when the cameras weren't rolling, she did make sure he knew to let her do her thing when she was in the moment.
And if I start talking, Gary, just let me improvise.
I'll stop you.
And that, folks, is how someone goes from laughing in the middle of takes to whipping out an unforgivable curse. Number 4. And here we have an example of total comic genius. One of Tom Felton's all-time best bloopers in the Harry Potter saga was one that slipped under the radar, making the final cut because it was just that good. What line are we referring to?
I didn't know you could read.
Yes, that wasn't scripted. Felton totally goofed, losing his line in the moment and trying to cover it up with this stalling line. We wonder if he knew back then that it would become one of the most iconic Draco lines there is. Number 5. When is he not feisty is the real question though. Jason Isaacs knew he had to bring all those evil Malfoy family vibes, even when he was working opposite literal kids.
Out of my way, Potter.
Give him a cane and he is set. But at times he got a bit too carried away, and what was young Daniel supposed to do about it? Luckily, Isaacs isn't actually that aggressive and unpleasant. Number 6. On screen, you don't want to get in their way. Off camera is another story.
It's great that she kills me. I feel very honoured that she kills me.
Julie Walters and Helena Bonham Carter, well, they're two of the nicest actors around, but you wouldn't know it judging solely on their big duel during the Battle of Hogwarts.
She loves inflicting pain, and that's her only joy.
Julie Walters really let herself go, bringing all the feistiness her red hair could muster up to face off with a Slytherin through and through, the one and only Bellatrix, who was way more fun when the cameras weren't rolling. Number 7. Anything can happen on broomsticks, and that includes mishearing.
Whoops. Did you call me a wuss? No, I said whoops.
Yikes, this Slytherin was ready to bite. Keep in mind this teasing was a bit more elevated. Literally, an actor could have gone tumbling from their broomstick easily. Maybe Felton was just trying to use the old method acting trick, getting into character anytime he could. But don't worry, he's also made it clear just how he and Radcliffe felt about each other.
We're not really enemies, we love each other really. Yes.
Number 8. You don't want to cross a line with Draco. Otherwise, he'll start throwing insults your way.
Take your hands off me, filthy squib!
Okay, well at least that was the take we saw. What we didn't get so much of was the enthusiasm Tom Felton actually had for this moment.
It looks a bit better. It does. Oh my god.
Is it just us, or does it seem like Felton enjoys it even more than David Bradley does? Number 9. When Voldemort is on screen, he's gonna milk every second of it. He and Ralph Fiennes were similar in that way. When the actor was in the zone, he let himself go.
How lies have fed your lungs. Do you know where you're standing? Do you know where you're standing?
It was impressive to see just how fluid he was, messing up lines, but always making sure the camera caught loads of different takes. While Fiennes dug it and the editing team had an amazing catalog of different variations and takes from him, poor Radcliffe did get the short end of the stick on this one.
So he had to put up with a lot from me, doing endless takes while he suffered.
Number 10. He did say touch nothing.
Don't touch Draco. And I hit him with that cane.
In this scene that wound up being cut, Felton got a bit more than he bargained for from his oh-so-strict father. Jason Isaacs was familiar with the Harry Potter books before he came on set as Lucius, knowing just how vile the Malfoy family could be, and he came to give him what he deserved. Unfortunately, Felton really did bear the brunt of it.
And I went, don't touch Draco, and the fangs went right into his skin.
Ouch.
And we finished the scene, and I went, Tom, I'm so sorry. He went, no, it's all right, it was good for the scene.
Number 11. These sidekicks? Well, they're something. Crab and Goyle, what a pair. Throw some Mad-Eye Moody into the mix and chaos is sure to ensue. Throw in a prop creature? Yeah, these two could make a ruckus. Jamie Waylett and Josh Herdman tried to keep composed, but in the outtakes, it seems a lot more like neither of them really knew what was going on, while they both looked more like they were just tickling each other instead of helping each other. No wonder Brendan Gleeson couldn't resist letting a giggle slip. Number 12. One small speaker can go a long way. What speaker, you ask? Who knew just how loudly that would echo into the hall? Well, Alan Rickman and Michael Gambon had quite the laugh pranking a young Radcliffe by setting off a fart machine they had planted in his sleeping bag throughout the scene. To make matters worse, Radcliffe was in very close proximity to a girl that he had a crush on.
In our dreams, we enter completely our own world.
Rickman was usually pretty good at keeping his composure on set, but he couldn't resist this one, and evidently, neither could the entire cast and crew. Number 13. Give her an inch and she'll take a mile. Even just hearing about the chance to improvise in a scene.
Don't be afraid to go off script. It doesn't matter. Just don't be afraid to go off script.
Well, it's enough to get this Slytherin actress excitedly giggling. We might hate a lot of the things her character does in the series, but it's hard not to love her performance, especially when her smile feels just a bit less evil. Number 14. Who could resist when he impresses like this? Tom Felton left the stiff Draco behind in favor of the dancing man who partied up a storm filming the Yule Ball scenes.
Yeah, man, I've been doing my sticks, I've been working my feet.
This goofing off behind the scenes worked in his favor, even tempting a Gryffindor who we never thought we'd see being anything but loyal.
I'm gonna come over to the dark side.
We dance with this Slytherin any day. Number 15. We wouldn't want to be in their harnesses.
I'm smiling now, only because my feet are on the floor, yeah.
Don't you just hate that feeling when the floor slips out from under you? Tom Felton couldn't even feign confidence, doing everything in his power to keep under enough control for the scene. Unfortunately, even after going through it over and over and over again, it never gets any easier.
It's an instinct, you know, logic brain thing. You can't override it.
While they did some pretty terrible things on screen, okay, very terrible. We're looking at you, Voldemort. Luckily for the rest of the cast and crew, they weren't even close to as nasty as their characters. Which outtake was your favorite?